We're back here on Weather Command. The waves, they've been big, and the tide, it has been high. It's a story we've been following here on Fox Weather all hurricane season, really even before that. Recently, the shoreline of the Outer Banks has made news headlines, with 9 homes collapsing into the Atlantic. That was just last week alone. And for those keeping count since 2020, 21 homes have now fallen into the ocean along North Carolina's shrinking coastline. As many are now forced to clean up this man-made disaster, some experts are trying to figure out ways to protect the shoreline. Joining us now is Dr. Laura Moore, a coastal geomorphology professor at UNC Chapel Hill. Dr. Moore, good morning to you. Geomorphology, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the study of Earth's landforms, from how they form to why they change. And that's why we wanted to talk to you, because this changing coastline, since 2020 or even before that, what does the research say? What does it suggest is causing this shoreline to shrink?
Well, the areas where we've been seeing homes collapse are areas of long-term chronic erosion. These are places that have been eroding very, very rapidly. If we think over the long term, the shoreline in Buxton and Rodanthe has been moving about half a mile per century. So these are areas of very rapid long-term erosion that's just very difficult to counter.
Is there a process, whether it's naturally occurring or not, that is causing this alarming erosion rate? We even mentioned before break that the constant storms. Last week we were dealing with 2 named storms, Hurricane Umberto and Imelda. Well, this week it's now the king tide, and perhaps by next weekend, I don't know if you've been looking at forecast models, if you do that,
right,
but there's another, well, we could be dealing with another coastal storm of sorts. So what are the processes that are kind of sticking out? And I guess if you were to rank them, let's talk king tide. How significant is king tide?
Well, the processes that are leading to the problems in Rodanthe and Buxton are, they're like you said, there are multiple things that are at play here. There's long-term chronic erosion, which is occurring simply because there's more sand being lost from the stretch of coast than is brought in. And that occurs during sand is moved along shore during fair weather and during storms. So we have chronically eroding shorelines that are moving landward at a very high rate in these locations. And then when you have storms that bring higher water levels and stronger wave energy to shore, then the shoreline temporarily moves landward even farther and intersects with where homes are located. And so, unfortunately, we are seeing homes that are lost on lots that, once the storm erosion has been recovered from, these lots essentially will be in the ocean, and it's unlikely that some of these homes will be able to be rebuilt because the shoreline simply is moving too far landward for setback requirements to be met.
It's startling because we were just looking at satellite images from 2009, Dr. Moore, and in 2009, some of these homes had backyards. I don't know, I'm sure some of them had grass, and that's what's so alarming here too. And I don't know if it's within the purview of your research, because with geomorphology, you're looking at the science, but in North Carolina, being a North Carolinian yourself, what are some solutions that have been floated? I mean, from wild solutions to practical ones. Have there been any that sound maybe realistic to you?
Well, in these areas of extremely high chronic erosion, it's so difficult to counter the erosion. We can hope to maybe slow it down some, but I think, unfortunately, one of the most promising solutions is the state and the county, Dare County, are working with homeowners to offer the opportunity for them to work with the state and the county to apply for funds that would allow homes to be moved to suitable locations where they're less vulnerable to high water and waves. There's also the possibility for homeowners to receive fair market value compensation for their homes. That's a really hard thing to say and not something that anyone wants. But in the case of a home that can't be suitably relocated, it would at least allow for the home to be removed prior to collapse. And of course, one of the big problems we're facing, this is Cape Hatteras National Seashore, and there are miles of debris piles that need to be cleaned up, even amidst a shutdown, which means the effort is perhaps hampered and a little bit slower than we might like. And so in these areas of high chronic erosion that really has been going on for a very long time, some of the best, most reliable options are to either relocate or move back by removing homes that are imminently threatened. There are plans to nourish the beach in Buxton in the summer of 2026, likely in connection with refurbishment of a groin. This may slow the process down some for a short period of time, but how long? We're still fighting long-term chronic erosion, and the loss of sand in this area is so great that it's really difficult and extremely expensive to counter.
I mean, I don't want to speculate here, but when we look at where homes have been built along all U.S. coastlines and where we have seen just this rapid onset, I think ground zero really seems to be the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I guess as a final question, studying this, does it surprise you 10 years ago? Did you think you'd be sitting here having a conversation how 21 homes have fallen into the ocean just 10 years ago within our lifetime?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, this is something that those who work in my field have been speaking about for decades, because we essentially drew a line in the sand starting heartily in the 70s, 80s, and 90s by building homes and roads on a coastline that is shifting landward beneath us. And in a way, if we don't find a means for adapting and shifting with the landscape, what we're learning is that some of the short-term measures that we use to try to protect, understandably, our roads and homes are actually leading to conditions farther down the line, more flooding, loss of landscape. So unfortunately, yes, this is predictable. It's very, very challenging problem to address for so many reasons.
It really is. I can understand, but I think the bottom line is here. The science didn't lie. The science leads the way, and to trust the science is an important element because, yeah, as you had said, not a surprise is what we have seen. Well, thank you for the time. It's a discussion.
It's part of the conversation, at least.
Always,
yes.
And I'm sure we'll have them down the road too. Dr. Laura Moore, professor of coastal geomorphology at UNC Chapel Hill. Thanks for joining us on Weather Command.
My pleasure, Stephen. Thank you.